I had never been a functional person in society because I got locked up when I was 18 years old.
I never thought I was going to leave prison. I thought I was going to die in prison.
I was in there for 23 years, 3 months, and 10 days.
I was incarcerated when I was 17. I was still in high school and was hoping to go to grad night and prom night.
16 and 17, I was in youth authority. 18 to 50-something, I was in state prison.
We're stepping into a new era for us.
When I went to prison, disco was the music being listened to on a boom box.
We're going in as the Flintstones and coming out as the Jetsons.
And then I got out. Nobody wants to hire me because I'm a felon. I hit that brick wall and realized, hey, it's not that easy.
I went home. I was trying to do anything that I had to do to try to get my kids back.
I don't know if somebody will ever fully recover after the effects of incarceration.
When a person exits incarceration, they have extreme limitations placed upon their existence as a free community member.
There are something like 40,000 policies that restrict your ability to truly be free.
We have a team of community health workers. Each one of them has lived experience. When we say that is that they've either undergone incarceration or having a family member who's been incarcerated. And they meet with these folks, and the number one question we always try to find out is, how can we help you?
Oh man, I'm glad to see you get out, man. Man, you look good, man. What we try to do is provide anything and everything that you need in order to try to help you not come back to prison. You know what I mean? So
It's the fear of stepping into the unknown. We're kind of always being told what to do. So those are things that are embedded in us for so many years. Most of us spend more time in prison than in the streets, being free. So to transition from that to this, it's very difficult.
in situations where a person doesn't have a job, if they need a job, we're gonna go find them a job. If they wanna get into school, we're gonna go find them an opportunity to get into school. Get them into doctors, dentists, mental health, anything that addresses their needs, you know what I mean?
Around 70 to 75% of the people who do leave prison eventually go back within 5 years. And we know what it feels like to be home and not necessarily know what questions to ask.
I knew how to be a criminal. I knew how to be a bad guy. I knew how to hurt people. I was in prison 40 years. I thought that was life. When I learned it wasn't, then I started to change. How much do you want to hate? Do you want to hate everybody until you yourself realize you're the hateful person, that you don't even like yourself? Do you want to continue to hurt everybody until you realize the only person you've been hurting is yourself? You know what I mean? These things we've come to understand. Mr. Pitts, be cool, man. Take care, okay? If you need some help, you let me know. My contributions to the community, I want those contributions to be for a positive outcome.
Poverty is a major driver, quite frankly, for why so many people find themselves caught up in the juvenile justice and criminal justice system. It's about humanity. It's about looking at the community I represent and recognizing what the war on drugs did to that community, both people who suffered from addiction and an overzealous criminal justice system that took them from their community, incarcerated them for most of their adult lives.
Another 6 months, up to 2 years, basically.
I talked to somebody today.
When I was coming home, they didn't provide you any type of ID. So now you get out here, you need your ID, your social security. So starting with absolutely nothing, and even trying to do something as simple as gain your identity so that you could begin to live this law-abiding life is absolutely impossible.
Oh, I got this guy, he's having problems getting a social security card and identification because they gave him the wrong damn number inside.
We also know what happens when we deal with a bunch of bureaucracies. You go to somebody like, oh yeah, just go to this office. Then you get to that office and that office tells you, oh, go to this office. And after a period of time, if you're trying to get employment, if you're trying to get some type of medical services or anything that you need, sometimes the thought does come up of, you know what, it might be easier if I just go back.
How long have you been out now?
5 months and 1 day.
What identification cards do you have right now? What kind of
All
ID?
I have is my prison ID right now. I can't make a bank account. I can't, like I said, find a job without that social. At age 15, I think, I decided not to care anymore. That's what was my mindset. I didn't care about anyone, anybody, not even myself. But when I got incarcerated, I felt that there was a need to prove that to everybody else as well.
Going through a very toxic and hyper-masculine environment, coming out to the free world, not all of us have ever been given or learned the proper tools to deal with trauma or to openly speak about it and just begin to work with that in the first place.
So, I wasn't truly happy when I was released because I was like, man, how could I be find happiness in this moment? Even parole officers would say, hey, congratulations, you should be happy. And I go, man, I am, and in a way I can't celebrate. I don't think I've done enough. I don't think the people who I've hurt would be happy for this moment as well. I could just imagine on them. I took away a parent, a brother, father, a son. The kids had to grow up without that. And I grew up in a broken home, and it affected me a lot. So I could just imagine them. Grandparents having to raise them, their aunts, their uncles, everybody. Those kids having to know their father through their stories or memories of their loved ones. And that's what affected me a lot.
Natalie, I'm one of the nurse practitioners. Okay. How's everything going? Good. How are you doing?
Oftentimes women are mothers, so they go in there, they're separated from their children, which causes an additional layer of trauma and pain. That pain is deep-rooted because no matter what, you can't take back those years. You'll always look at your children and know how much they missed you and know what they went through.
When my daughter's dad passed away, that's when it started. That's when I started running the streets, everything. That was a response of me avoiding the feeling of losing my boyfriend, avoiding being a mom, avoiding being a housewife at the time, avoiding everything. My kids were at home. My kids were with my mom, and she would come every now and then to try to visit me with the kids. And one of the visitations, one of my friends came by herself, and she gave me the news. And she said, well, your kids were taken. At that moment, I was just scared for them. The whole time that I was incarcerated, I just felt like I can't give up. So I set my head and I said, I'm gonna do it. And nothing's gonna stop me from getting my kids.
Hi. How are you? Good. So we're going to be working on your rental assistance. This is called the RAP Reentry. It's housing to help with folks who are working, families who need a little assistance during COVID. Basically, rental assistance with a step-down program. And we're excited to make sure that they get some housing assistance.
It helps me a lot because the rent here, it's pretty expensive. My mom does not work. So right now we're just trying to see where we can help ourselves,
All right, my dear. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're coming together for this candlelight vigil to remember the people that have died from COVID that are currently incarcerated. We don't want to forget our brothers, our sisters, and our family members, and our friends that are still inside that are passing away.
Because of COVID, the state of California released about 8,000 inmates, all of whom were scheduled to be released within the year.
It's not just about decreasing your numbers. It's about the actual people that you are letting go, that you are releasing into the streets, and then expecting them to start their life anew.
We're gonna catch the 5 north.
My reentry was not something I was really trying to jump back into because I knew that would be a downfall for me. And for a while, I would come out and just stand on the balcony at my mom's house and look at things, you know. I was not in a hurry, man, to get around people at all.
Yeah, that's how I started off too. But I was just like, all right, let me just go walk to the park and then walk back. And just like understanding the surrounding area first again. Like, all right, let me fill it out.
Yeah, I wasn't even that brave, man. It's gonna be coming out right now.
Would you eat the first time?
My mom had cooked homemade tacos, and that was my favorite meal. That was my favorite meal. All those 40 years I used to talk about homemade tacos through the vents.
So I'm over here eating a double-double, and the next thing you know, the governor jumps on the phone call.
Wow.
And I'm just like, it's kind of surreal. Like, I'm eating a double-double, and then the governor's like, hey, welcome home. And I'm like,
wow, that's incredible, man.
My sentence had got commuted, so I was originally sentenced to 22 years. But because of the work we were doing with the youth offenders and helping just people come home and really do right inside, my sentence was commuted to 10 years, so I was up for immediate release.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool right there. Yeah. Oh, here we go. This might be it. You're free now, man. We're gonna take our time. There's nobody can tell us to hurry up. Go. Oh. There you go.
You okay?
Yep. Got him. We brought you some stuff for you, okay? Some clothing. We're gonna stop, and we're gonna take you in so you can do some shopping, buy yourself some clothes. Then we're gonna stop and we're gonna feed you, as soon as we get going. All right? All right. Now, get comfortable, please. Richard, welcome back to the free world. We're gonna get you home now.
Hey Jay, this is Ralph. Somebody was paroled and the parole officer had told him to go to the... Okay. All right. There's no openings as of now, but if somebody doesn't show up for their bed, it creates an opening because you have to claim your bed every evening to keep it, right? You know that. You're gambling if you waited till 5.
So what we can do then is we'll get you a hotel room. We can get you the hotel room tonight, and then tomorrow you're gonna have to deal with it with your parole officer and stuff like that, okay?
Yeah, we're sorry about that. No, on
Ready,
normal
Johnny?
grounds, we would be able to.
The Department of Corrections releases people from the jails, and they put them out on the streets, and they have nowhere to go, and they have to depend on institutions like this, and these places are full. This is reentry. Watch your hand. All right, Richard. You be cool, man. You got that card, right? Make that call first thing in the morning. Okay, you got some food right there, stuff like that.
Okay.
All right, take care, Richard. All right?
Want me to get the door?
Yeah.
There are literally thousands of people released from incarceration yearly. They are just dumped out onto the streets.
95% of those people that are currently incarcerated will eventually make their way home. That means it'll be your neighbors, your brothers and sisters at church, your co-worker.
We can give people an opportunity to provide for their own livelihoods and their families. They'll take that opportunity and run with it. It certainly has a direct impact on recidivism.
I had to go before the board of prison terms. And I had to show them that I was a changed person. I told them, I said, I grew up this way, I was raised this way, I was around these type of people. I accepted that. That was just my plight. It's not a surprise that I'm in prison. To me, it's not. I lost my mother when I was 9. My mother died at the hands of my father, and I was left to be raised by my father. I said, now, this in comparison to that is nothing. So I was able to make that connection in that, and how it impacted me, that turned me into that person that I was. So once I was able to connect the dots, so to speak, I can see, things starting to come to fruition. The second time I got out, I prepared myself. I said, okay, it's a process. I need to crawl before I can walk. So I got out, and that's what St. John and Rise has afforded me, that opportunity to crawl before I can get on my feet. Most of the jobs I've been out, I've been working with homeless, and it's like a win-win. I get the opportunity to go back and give something to society and benefit as well. Right now, I'm in a way better place than I ever thought I would be in 2 years. I got a job, I go to school, I got a healthy, happy daughter. I don't have any complaints at this time.
How was the thing going with your Social Security card?
It came through finally. I felt amazing. I called my aunt. I go, I finally got it. I feel like now I exist. I go, now I got a number now. I know.
Congratulations.
It's movement, and I can get started. I can take a few steps. Yes.
5 damn months.
Baby shark. Mommy shark doo 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 doo. Mommy shark doo 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 doo.
We as a society have to really step up in a meaningful way to figure out what we can do to support financially and other kinds of resources what people need when they're released from custody.
How do we as individuals want to look at our society? How do we want to look at our neighbors? And do we want to look at this from a lens of humanity, a lens of healing, a lens of community, and a lens of restorative justice?
The criminal justice system has disproportionately impacted the African American and Latino communities. More people are incarcerated in the United States than any other country in the world per capita. So we thought it was really, really critical to develop programming to support the reentry population, to support those who are being released and were coming back into the communities where they grew up. St. John's is more than a community health center. It's a social justice organization. We are providing healthcare services as a vehicle to empower people to take back control of their lives, to engage the social determinants that make them sick in the first place. And we have a host of programs from reentry to transgender health to immigrant health that empower people to take control of their lives. We've been able to develop this program because of support from foundations, from government, and from individual donors like you and me. Thank you for supporting such an important program that really is all about reintegrating folks into the communities from which they came and making sure they have all of the support they need to be contributing members of the society. So thank you.